Hi, everybody. Welcome to week two. And as I said in my email, you're going to see a very similar flow to week one. You can read the learning outcomes and the tasks for the week. You'll find an instructor overview video right here. That's what I'm recording right now. You're going to look at the chapter two, which is going to talk about the differences between professional learning networks, PLNs, how those feed into communities of practice, COPs, and ultimately professional learning communities, PLCs. So, there's a lot of acronyms here, but really this means communicating on a large scale to learn as much as you can as an educator, and then bringing those down on a tangible level to your school site and to other networks of people that are doing actual practical work. There's a figure, and I talked about this in the email, and I really like this figure. It's figure 2.1 on page 27, and it really breaks down the difference between professional learning networks, communities of practice, and professional learning communities. Something that is, these words are thrown around so much, and because communication and nurturing those networks is really the theme of 531, I think that's just a nice visual for you to have. After reflecting on the Christian message, I do want to point out that there are two discussion board posts for this topic. You have this first discussion board post where you're going to be reflecting on a video that you watch about connected learning, and then you have the other discussion board post. This one here that's related to, I'm sorry, that's related to the video. The first one is related to this this resource, web resource, the Current of Learning and Teaching Today, where it wants you to reflect on the current state of connected learning in the classroom and the importance of developing a connected learning environment. So a lot of things to look at, a lot of things to read, a lot of things to discuss. In addition to watching this video, you're going to look at this Horizon report as well on personalized learning. So that's something to look forward to. It's good to really be able to dig into some of this tangible research as it's published. But for the assignment specifically, this is where you're going to take those connections you made, whether it was 50 people on Twitter, or on Instagram, or on some blog, or on Google+. And now you're going to start nurturing those environments and start building those communities. So you're going to begin to develop a connected learning model. And to this end, you're going to be contributing in the social networks you joined last week. And we want you to post in each site a minimum of 3 times each week throughout the rest of this course. And you can read some of the logic here below, but check out the rubric here. You contribute in each network 3 or more times a week, and that they're spread out throughout the week, not just within the same day. And this is because really we use our networks ideally for different things. And I want to show you what that looks like, because a lot of you, especially those of you that are new to this, might have just signed up for 3 different things and made 3 different connections. But those things really should fit kind of this puzzle of your PLN or your professional learning network. And they have different purposes, and those different purposes usually relate to different frequencies. For example, if one of my networks are some YouTube channels that I follow, I might be liking certain videos to curate a list of thumbs up that relate to videos I'm going to use in the classroom more frequently than I'm going to be posting resources to Twitter. Okay. So that's one example. 2 other examples are the ways that I use Instagram and Twitter. So for me, Instagram is used very specifically to share to my community, my professional community, images of what I'm doing in the classroom. So for example, I'm sharing this video right here of students in my robotics class at a robotics competition. And I'm showing it really specifically to those colleagues that I have that do middle school robotics. And I took this photo strategically so they could see that this robot has two light sensors here used to follow this line. So strategic in that I'm really not just posting a picture, but I'm really sending a message out to my community, my robotics community, saying, hey, listen, this design works in the context of seeing these awesome young females engaging in robotics. Other things, I like to use a lot of modeling instruction in my class. So, and I also in my chemistry class love to tackle misconceptions. So this is a picture of a whiteboard where I ask students simply to explain what are in the bubbles of boiling water. And this is a real misconception in science. So you see, my colleagues now get to see what these misconceptions are. They get to see that one group might think that the bonds of hydrogen and oxygen are breaking, um, and when it's a liquid, those hydrogen and oxygen bonds are already together. So again, I'm posting these pictures usually once a day, and I'm trying to send visual messages out to my community, sharing my work in the hopes that they'll do the same. And you can see this all the way through. I do a lot of medical case studies in my biology class. So you see I'm showing that my students are wearing these lab coats and presenting out their medical case studies to one another in a visual way in hopes that my colleagues will do the same thing and we can communicate over that. Okay. So visual storytelling in a very strategic, curated way on Instagram. On Twitter, it's a little different. It's more about quick sharing. Here I'm doing this thing called retweeting. When someone posted a picture of my book that they had just bought, again, I'm retweeting this. When someone posted a quote that I had said, I really like this quote, so by retweeting it, I share that tweet with my followers, but I don't have to write it again myself. Down here, you see another retweet. I can do that very quickly. Here, I'm participating in a Twitter chat. A6 means answer 6, and that's the answer to question 6. So you see here that hour I was part of a Twitter chat, which is a quick question and answer between people in your network. So you see Twitter, I'm using it more sporadically. Sometimes I'm sharing photos. Sometimes I'm just forwarding on what other people had said on Twitter, and other times I'm doing really, really curated things, like congratulating people for winning a copy of my book, or let's see what's a good one here. Sharing this this article, about entrepreneurship. So I'm using these two things very differently. YouTube, maybe to like videos and curate them to use in my classroom. Instagram, very strategically, visual storytelling. And Twitter here, quick sharing in the hopes of building other people that will do the same, where I can grab and curate and learn really quickly on the go. So again, you're going to be taking screenshots of your interactions and your participation in your communities, and you're going to be sharing those to one Google Doc. And it really walks you through that here. Take a screenshot of each contribution, and then add them to one Google Doc and submit that in section 2. So once you submit that once, you're going to use that one Google Doc all the way through. Have a great week 2, and happy Mother's Day.